you're not going to see that because you don't, have 2 or 3 zones to really get the speed up. This is about quickness, hockey IQ, and creativity.
There's a first shot on net for Hagen Burrows and a save made by Mennigan. Harrison Mennigan in the net right now. Brian just talked about him. It was outstanding for Medicine Hat. Started the season in Lethbridge, was traded to Medicine Hat, and Brian told you they made it all the way to the Memorial Cup final. This is Baldwin now. Everett Baldwin from Providence, Rhode Island. He's the defenseman on Team White, Team Andrechuk. Maddox LeBray can't find a lane to the net. Backdoor pass got through Kurth, and the Team Bradley will take it outside the zone and reset. Here's Steen again. Oh, here's a lane for Connor, and his shot is right on, and Mennigan makes his first stop.
Good challenge there by Mennigan in goal for sure. That's a flat-out chance. Guy coming right at you. One-on-one shooter against goaltender. Take that half step out, cut the angle down. Did a real nice job on that one.
Mennigan is 20 years of age. He is from South Surrey, British Columbia, a suburb of the Lower Mainland Vancouver area. He's a 7th-round pick of the Lightning. He was here last year, and he's forced to make a sharp-angled save right there on that snapshot from Kurth. These games are played in 5-minute halves, running time, and here's another lane to the net for Steen, and his shot went just wide. Perhaps Mennigan got a piece there. Backhander in tight, and Mennigan again shuts the door.
And these players, of course, come from different areas. Some playing from the Ontario League, some in the Quebec League, so that's junior. You also have college players. You also have some kids that played in Europe. So it's a chance to really measure yourself, some of them for the first time, against players their own age that come from different backgrounds. And the style of play is different. It's different in the OHL a little bit than it is in the Quebec League. And the junior style of play is different than the college league, etc., along the way. So this is a chance to just sort of measure up. And look, the players know when you get out there and you make a couple of moves on a guy and he's got you figured out and you think, oh, that was my best move, and it didn't work. It's like, okay, yeah, now I know I'm moving up the ladder here at pro hockey.
J.P. Cote talked about it in his interview with Gabby Shirley. A lot of these guys, it's their first experience in a pro environment, and there's some nerves. These guys have been in the spotlight since they're probably about 10, 11 years old in their local communities and in junior leagues, but now they're wearing the NHL gear. They're in the practice complex where the Lightning play. It's a different level, and you can feel it.
Yeah, J.P. Cote did a terrific job in that interview with Gabby, talking about how forthright the coaching staffs are with the individual players now, how they're willing to talk to them and work with them. And this is, power skating is a big part of it, working on their stride. The younger you are, that you can fix a stride that really is not the best, not the most advantageous, and then you can work on it when you're 18 years old or 19 or 20, you're going through and you intend to have a long pro career, then you can work harder at that good stride. You can become so much faster than a player who, like in our day, Dave, they used to just say to us, well, you just got to work harder. You got to be in better shape. You got to work hard. But if you don't have a really good skating stride, and the way the NHL is now, the quality of play, you have to be a terrific skater. I don't care what position you play. Even goaltenders have to be able to skate and move. And the better stride you have, the better technique you have, the better it's going to be for you as you progress from one day to the next and 1 month to the next.
It's a pretty good save there, made on that hard shot from Hagen Burrows off a nice pass from Klavs Weinsbergs, a 22-year-old native of Riga, Latvia. And there's our first goal to talk about, scored by Team Andrechuk.
Good shot. They're just hitting the corners, making sure when you get a chance. I think that was Burrows that pulled the trigger on that. He went low on the stick side there and gets the first goal of this little 3-on-3.
First half is over. We now have a 1-minute break before the second half of this minigame will be played.
And sometimes we will see after these games are over, there will be like shootouts. So what's happening if the referees, and yes, there is a referee, and if they decide that there was a penalty on the play, they will just count it up at the end. So say the blue team, took 2 penalties, then the whites will get 2 penalty shots at the end of the game. So it just time conservative, and they are keeping score because, hey, this is pro hockey, and everybody keeps score about everything.
Oh, yeah. And there's a championship game tomorrow, and it matters. A lot of these
Yep.
guys want to win this tournament, go home and say they won. A lot of guys who have played for the Lightning have played in this 3-on-3 development camp environment, and they take it seriously as we are getting set for the second half now of game number 1 on day number 1 of the 3-on-3 rookie tournament. Referees out there explaining some of the rules and how things are going to move going forward. The other teams who will play in the next game are already warming up down at the other end, and that's where they will play that half of this schedule here. There's been a goaltending change. A new goalie is in. Madigan gets a breather.
So this is the Richards team in blue, right? And Le Cavalier in white.
And Caleb Heil, who's right in off the bench here, makes his first stop. Caleb Heil is 19 years of age. He's from Minnesota, and he was a 7th-round draft pick last week by the Lightning. Plays in the USHL for the Madison Capitals. So here's Weinsbergs again. Again, same two teams out there. They just switched the goalies up. Weinsbergs with a quick shot. While the game is going on here, let's send it down to Gabby Shirley. Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with PC Labrie, former Tampa Bay Lightning forward and current referee. PC, I want to know how tight you are calling this game.
I mean, I'm trying to, it's going so fast. It's lightning fast, like we know. The kids are really, really quick, and I can't take my eyes off the puck because I know I'm going to miss a play. So,
what stands out to you about this group of players?
I mean, they're really into it. They're dialed in. It's been a buy-in from day one. So it's really fun to see their progression day to day. Like you can see, like from the beginning of every practice to the end, there's a progression. That's what I love to see.
I know we're only about 6 minutes into game 1, but has anyone had any dirty plays yet? Have you noticed anything?
No, everything has been clean. The guys know how important this tournament is. They all want to put their name on that cup, and I think they're not willing to go that dirty kind of play. Not yet. Maybe when we get closer to the final, we'll see. But right now, it's clean, fair play.
That's the key word right there. Not yet. Thank you so much for your time. Get back to refereeing. Dave, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gabby, thank you very much. So Team Bradley responded with a goal there. You saw it. It was scored by Marco Mignosa. Not a big surprise, Brian. That guy had 36 goals last season in the Ontario League playing for the Sioux Greyhounds.
Yeah, that's the most goals of anybody in this tournament at this camp. 36 goals is a great year no matter where you played.
Yeah, 85 points total. He led the Greyhounds in goals and points, playing in his 4th season in the Ontario League and expected to go back for a 5th. That's Mignosa right there. The stick just coming off out of contact with the puck, and Mignosa picks it up and puts it towards the net. Save made by Heil.
These games are tough on the legs, too. It's constant movement, up and down, back and forth. A lot of the stopping and starting and the agility that's required in this game, it tears your legs out. So you can have one substitution. Blue team just did that a moment ago. So you get one guy off there, you get a bit of a rest. The other two still out there, cruise control, trying to get open. Offense to defense, reading plays. Hockey's so fast all the time that going from offense to defense happens everywhere on the ice. And that's just some of the things that the coaching staff are looking at here.
Chance there for number 83, Caden Petrie, another guy who had some good offensive numbers last season in the Ontario League, playing for Flint, the Firebirds there. He had 53 points in 57 games. He's 83 in white. This is Lucas Mercury, trying to sneak one upstairs on a Heil, and he shut the door short side. Minute and a half to go in the second half of this first 3-on-3 game. Oh, nice glove stop there by Heil. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he was down early, but he had that glove ready. backhand shot was over his pad, but good glove save there.
25 wins for Heil in the USHL. He is committed to go to North Dakota in a season from now. He's going to go back to the USHL as he is only 19 years of age.
Yeah, the goaltender played in Madison in the United States Hockey League last year, 25, 10, and 4 on the season. He was drafted this year, in the 7th round.
That's Kurth, backhand feed across the goal mouth, and Heil read that play and stopped it and clears the zone himself.
That was Burroughs, Hagen Burroughs, played at Denver College. He had Denver University, excuse me. He had a good chance there, shrugging it afterwards. Should have gone upstairs with that chance.
Final 30 seconds now of this first 3-on-3 game. Weinsberg's trying to find some room, drops it off for Kurth, and his shot goes wide. Picked up now by Baldwin. Everett Baldwin, defenseman. And this one is cleared outside. Maybe time for one last chance here. Weinsberg rips one, and it goes wide on the short side, and that is going to do it. So 1-1 on goals by Burroughs and Mignosa, and now this game will be decided, I believe, in a shootout. That's how they're going to decide these games here.
Everett Baldwin's going to be interesting to watch. He was at prep school, and he's going to go to Providence College, but they talk about his agility, his skating, his first step or two, high-end speed, ability as a defenseman to really make big-time plays. So I've heard a lot about him. So Everett Baldwin, we'll have to keep an eye on him as this camp goes along, especially at the NHL. I mentioned a moment ago that they have a lot of big defensemen for sure, but there certainly are exceptions like Lane Hudson in Montreal, who won the Rookie of the Year, who's anything but big at 5'9", and he ended up winning the Calder Trophy. So there is certainly room for players who have average size or smaller if you can skate and handle the puck.
So here we go with a shootout here, and this is Connor Kurth. And Kurth runs out of room, and that attempt is stopped.
Sometimes it's tough here. Players see the guy in front of them go slow. Be interesting to see if anybody changes that up a little bit and attacks with a little more speed. So far, the goaltenders are winning the situation. Heil doing a real nice job, hasn't allowed one yet.
Now stopping Joe Connor on that attempt now, and here comes Weinsberg's again. Weinsberg's trying to sneak it in the 5-hole there, and that did not work.
Yeah, some quick hand speed there. Tried to change up the tempo a little bit, but Heil closed the 5-hole down.
Here is Steen. Steen, who played with Lilleberg at the World Championship for Norway. In fact, he wore an A on his jersey as Lilleberg was the captain.
Yeah, they're really high on him, too. Interested to see his development this year, what level he's able to go to. He's got some really good hands there, but again, goaltender hasn't allowed one yet.
And he still hasn't. Burroughs tried the backhander, and it didn't go.
And it's tough for the goaltenders, too. Look, I mean, the players, it's one after the other, and it's the same goaltender in there, too. So he's the one that maybe getting a little bit tired. He didn't look quite as quick there. Is that Minosa?
Yeah, it is.
Came in, made a nice move to the backhand there and went right up under the bar. But you got to feel for the goaltender there, Heil, because he's seen about 8 shooters already, and I think maybe he's slowing down a little bit.
And one more save made by a Heil, and right now the only goal that stands up is Mignosa, and that is going to do it for Team Bradley as they get a win on the board, the first win of this 3-on-3 tournament.
That was a heck of a save, that last one, man. That toe save looked like he was maybe beaten, but he was able to just cover up that short side post. So Heil did a heck of a job there in that shootout and goal.
There'll be a quick minute in between the games, and then we are going to reset for another game here as we send you back down to Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with Marco Mignosa. Marco, I just learned that Mom and Dad are in the building, and they don't live just on the other coast of Florida. Where did they come from?
They came from Vaughan, Ontario, just like 30 minutes north of Toronto, so they made a little trip out of it.
That is fantastic. So you scored the game-winning goal in this shootout. Take me through your mentality when you have that opportunity. Are you doing the same thing every time?
Yeah, a lot of reps, I guess. I mean, I just tried it, and it fortunately went in. So saw a little hole there and put it there. So, yeah, it's good to get the win.
Your team had the first game of this 3-on-3 tournament. Overall, how do you think you guys played?
Pretty good. I mean, obviously get the win, so it's a good start. We'll just keep it going.
Absolutely, and a great shout out to mom and dad right there. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
You can tell he's definitely got some offense to his game, and we told you about his 85-point season in the Ontario League, and we'll keep our eyes on Marco Mignosa. And pretty cool that his mom and dad could be here.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is now going to be Team Le Cavalier. They'll be wearing the white jerseys against Team Richards in blue. And starting in net is going to be Arthur Smith, 21 years of age. He's an invitee to this camp, has not been drafted, and he plays at Princeton. And he'll be the first goaltender in this 3-on-3 game. It's going to be a series of 4 games, Brian, and then there'll be a 15-minute flood. 7 games in total today before we get into the championship round tomorrow. So in this game, one guy to watch, everybody you want to keep an eye on, but playing for Team Le Cavalier in the white jerseys, wearing number 89, he's out there right now, is Ethan Gauthier. Drafted 37th overall in the 2023 draft, the highest pick the Lightning have had in the last 2 drafts combined.
Yeah, 25 goals last year for Gauthier, playing in Drummondville in the Quebec League.
A guy who represented Team Canada, the World Juniors. And certainly, probably on paper, their top prospect right now.
Yeah, he's got great quickness, and because he's been around the block a little bit now, I expect to see him really lean in to games like this and to every day, and because he wants to take those next steps. You have the prospect camp coming up, which will be a tournament with the Lightning and 3 other teams. Usually it's Florida, Nashville.
And when I say he's their top prospect, I mean of the guys who are here.
Yeah. There will be 10 or 11 of these guys that'll end up in the prospect tournament.
That is Will Elger trying to cut to the net, and he couldn't get a shot away. Now it's picked up in the corner by Cooper Flinton. Flinton around the top, into the middle, and his shot goes off the stick of Jan Golicic. Golicic, a big, rangy defenseman, 6'5", Brian.
If you could have that kind of size and reach, and for him, because of his age too, the thing will be about growing into his body. That's always the thing. When a guy, grows that quickly, your coordination is sometimes a little bit slower to develop than a guy who's 5'10". And so, there's a trade-off. But in the long run, it's all about, what you do with it. And Golicic, they're going to be really interested to see how he develops. He's got some good hands, and he's got some good quick movements here. He's got lateral movement. Today's game, you have to have some lateral movement because the game is so quick.
There's one save, and the second effort, I believe, caught the far post there as Flinton got a chance away. And Rautiainen sends it back in. Number 40, Benjamin Rautiainen from Tampere, Finland. Plays in the Finnish men's league there. So that's a good sign for the Lightning to see one of their young prospects playing in a good men's league in Europe.
It's a big advantage if a player has already played against men, but at the same time, when they go back and then they play, say, like World Juniors and get against their peers and with their peers again. And in a situation like this, where it is against their peers, now they feel like, okay, I've really been around the block. I've been playing against guys that are way older than this and established and have different sets of skills and experience. So being able to play in a men's league is, it's a big thing.
That was Grant Spada with a shot. Spada, a defenseman for the Guelph Storm. Another save made there in the goal by Arthur Smith.
Yeah, that was Rautiainen, had a really good chance at the net there. Wasn't the greatest shot. He had room on the corners there. And I think he'd be looking to cut it a little more finely when he gets those chances next time. Having natural instinct scoring, that's been debated for generations. How much is natural? How much is developed? Some players certainly have an eye for it, and a lot of it's a will and a willingness to score. Some guys, that's what just keys them. They just want to see the puck go in the net all the time. Others are concentrating on other aspects of the game. But when it comes down to it, the quicker you can get that finely tuned look at the net, use your hands, and finish those plays by hitting the top corner regularly, you're going to get attention from the coaching staff and the scouts for sure.
Still no score here is Anders Miller, who is the goaltender. He has kept a clean sheet here, made all the saves he's had to so far. There's a backdoor pass that fails to connect, and the rebound goes all the way around the outside for Jason Shogabay.
Yeah, nice setup by Flinton. Flinton showed some dexterity there, good quickness and lateral movement, and then the pass at the net was a little bit in the feet, but it shows that he has confidence with the puck.
Rautiainen right up the middle, and Miller makes the stop there, stands his ground.
No, I think that one went in. I think they went in short side.
Did it?
Yep.
Okay, my mistake. We don't have the best angle from here, but we'll make it, yeah, you're right, 1-0 on the goal by Rautiainen. He had 10 goals in the Finnish Elite League, and now it is Flinton trying to cut into the middle. Flinton's shot rolls into the glove there, and they'll keep it moving with just 15 seconds remaining in this first half.
When you first start, too, and this is the first game, first experience for these guys, the players want to make plays. They want to handle the puck. They want to show what they can do for sure. But I think as this goes on, you'll see players taking more shots. It's just kind of, you don't want to think that, well, you know, every time you get the puck, you're just going to shoot it. So players, I think, will start to loosen up a little more and be looking at the net for a little more. Let's go down to Gabby Shirley.
Thanks, Brian. I am here with Ethan Zada, who the Tampa Bay Lightning selected in this year's NHL draft. Ethan, you have not played in a 3-on-3 game yet, but you've been here for the duration of development camp thus far. How's it going for you?
It's going pretty good. You know, a tough day today, work out 2 skates, but it's all fun. You know, it's I enjoy being here, and it's been a blast so far, so yeah.
I can only imagine that you guys must be feeling it a little bit. You must be a little tired. What does it take for you to bring the energy? Is it mental? How do you get yourself ready for game action?
I would say mentally, just like kind of not worry about like that my body's drained right now, but kind of just being like, just play my game, be hard. You know, we have good players on our team, so I'm excited.
And I was just going to say, we have not seen your team in action yet, but how do you think you guys are going to do in this round robin tournament?
I think Team St. Louis is the best. I think we're the best team here, on paper at least. Off ice team. Off paper team.
Team St. Louis is not lacking any confidence. Ethan, thank you so much. And because you won't do it, I'll give a shout out to your dad, who is supposedly watching this stream. Shout out to Mike Zada.
And my mom if she's watching.
And his mom if she's watching. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Oh, yeah, parents will be watching.
Yeah, and we welcome everybody who's tuned into the YouTube channel here to watch this development camp. As another goal has been put on the board by Team Richards, and I like the words of Ethan Zada there, just like the team's namesake, Martin St. Louis, no shortage of confidence, as Gabby points out. We'll see
Yeah,
Team
that's
St.
right.
Louis next in the third game of this 3-on-3. Here's a backhanded wraparound attempt, and that doesn't go. They've got Arthur Smith in net now in the second half. Shogabay drops it off for Golicic, and it's back out for Foster.
Yeah, as Ethan was saying, I mean, he's feeling it already. This is not their first time on the ice, right? They have power skating. They have drills earlier on in the day. So this is their second time out there. And they have off-ice stuff as well, too. I mean, it's a packed day. And so the legs will start to get a little weary. And we got to remember, too, like for some of these teams, especially guys that maybe didn't even make the playoffs in their league, it's been a while, you know, since they've been on the ice, since they've been in a camp, whereas others who may have gone and, you know, gone all the way to championships and won, like Mennigan did, you mentioned earlier. So it's been, you know, less time off. Makes a big difference coming into a camp like this. And you get nervous, like when you're out there and first time, you're going, geez, I'm tired already. It doesn't look like the rest of these guys are. You get a little paranoid.
Some pretty good moves there by Jack Harvey. He's wearing number 94. He plays at Boston University. He's a former line mate of Macklin Celebrinis, who ended up being the first overall pick by the San Jose Sharks a year ago and was a top rookie in the NHL. Centering pass got away.
Well, the college level, of course, doesn't have fighting like you can see in the Quebec League or the OHL or the Western League. It's a little more physical in the junior leagues, whereas college, because of that, contact usually means that, there's going to be fights. So at the college level, a lot of it is just breakneck speed. They're dumping pucks in and they're going 100 miles an hour all the time. So it's a little bit different in the junior leagues, the style of play.
They're going to count that one as that puck got in behind Arthur Smith and it was tapped in. So Team Richards is in control here against Team LeCavalier. Puck loose in the corner. Shagabe, who is a former Mr. Hockey Award winner in the state of Minnesota. There's actually 2 guys in this development camp that have won that prestigious award, which has been won by the likes of Ryan McDonough.
Ryan McDonough, exactly. Yeah, high school hockey in Minnesota is gigantic, of course. A lot of terrific players over the course of NHL history. More and more have come out of Minnesota, and starts with their high school programs.
And the director of amateur scouting for the Tampa Bay Lightning, John Rosso, is also from the state of hockey, Minnesota. So he's got a good handle on all things Minnesota hockey for sure. But there's a wide cross-section of players from all over Europe and all across the CHL in Canada as well, being represented here today wearing the Lightning colors.
And we have players from the draft this year, of course. And it was interesting to hear John Rosso and Julian Brisebois, GM, talk about the change to the format this year of the draft, having it every team was in their own city with their own group of people. Not everybody went to one location, which has happened so many times over the generations. I think for Julian Brisebois and for GMs, there was kind of a trade-off there because they a lot of trades get made, which means they have access to just walk over and talk to a GM, if they're all in one location, which they couldn't do this year because it was all by remote. You were in your own city, you had to make a phone call or get on a text or whatever in order to talk to another GM. So making deals-wise at the draft this year, it was different and maybe, not exactly what some GMs would have liked, whereas from what John Rosso was saying, a lot of the scouts seemed to like it better. It was more controlled. You didn't have to be, careful about how loud you were talking or, things that could distract you. And sometimes in the past, some of the scouts didn't even know, who was on the board or who wasn't on the board, wasn't available anymore. It's more confusion when everybody's in the same place. So it seemed like the scouts liked it better remotely this year.
And that is going to do it for game number 2 of this 3-on-3. The odd time we might see a penalty shot. If there are any penalties called, they don't really tell us about that. But bottom line is 3-0 victory for Team Brad Richards to join Team Brian Bradley with a victory on the board. Third game is coming up momentarily. But right now, let's send you down to Gabby Shirley. She's with Jason Shagabe.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, I'm here with Jason Shagabe. Congratulations on the big win for Team Richards. Jason, for starters, what do you feel is the greatest strength of your team?
I think our captain, Jack Harvey, he's leading us really well, and he had some good speeches there, and I think that really fired us up.
You scored in that game. Take me through your goal.
It was just a great play by Yanni, and I just had to put it in. So great play out of him.
And thus far for you, Jason, give us an overview of how development camp is going.
It's good. It's great to be with these guys, and every time you come here, you get a little bit better, and it's obviously an honor to be here. So it's been great.
Which is the whole purpose, getting a little bit better. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck the rest of the way. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Jason Shagabe played Minnesota Duluth, 12 goals, 26 points this past season. He's 5'10", about 175 pounds. 2023 draft, 4th round.
So game 3 of this 3-on-3 tournament is going to feature Team Bradley going for its 2nd win already against Team St. Louis. And the first time we're going to see this group, which is highlighted by the guy we just heard from, Ethan Zada. He's out there right now wearing number 45. Zada with a 21-goal season, 55 points playing for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Here's Milo Rollins, a big, rangy forward who also used to play in the Quebec League for several teams over 5 years, but played pro last year. He's got the puck right now, number 36.
Yeah, 6'7", 216 pounds is Milo Rollins.
Oh, wide open. Nice feed from Rollins out front for Dylan Gill. And it is 1-0 Team St. Louis. Dylan Gill, big defenseman, played for Moncton in the Quebec League. And there's another save. That one made by Mennigan. Harrison Mennigan back in net. This one's cut off by Steen. Noah Steen lost his stick. And he kicks it forward there where it's picked up by Clark. Warren Clark back up the boards, and Steen has to chase that one out of the zone. Here comes Steen again, trying to go wide. He was defended there by Sawyer Mays. Mays wearing number 64. He's another big guy, 6'4".
Yeah, you can see that reach. Did a nice job there. He didn't panic. You see a player start to go around your stick position is really important. Mays did a really good job there. Kept control, stayed in the middle, didn't give up the inside lane, used the stick really well.
Mays plays in the Western League, played for Calgary and Seattle last year. Gill cleared it out. Rollins was right there and forces Team Bradley back out of the zone. Quick shot from Connor. And the rebound goes into the corner. A little puck race here as things are starting. I think the pace is starting to pick up a little bit now that everybody's into it.
Yeah, and you'll start to see a few bumps. Guys will run into each other. The speed's picking up. Guys will start driving the net like that, taking more shots. Yeah, it's starting to get a little more comfortable.
Roland started last season, Brian, playing for Syracuse in the American League, and then they moved him to Orlando in the East Coast League basically to get him more playing time.
Yeah, it's important, especially at this stage. If you feel that a player is at a level that's a bit over his head, and I think, and there's nothing wrong with that, get him back to feeling good about himself again and be able to play at the level that he's capable of. You push too far, too fast, and sometimes you can really lose players. Once they lose their confidence, boy, it's tough to rebuild. There are seven guys that have been invited to this camp. There are 6 18-year-olds and 1 23-year-old. That's Lucas Mercury. He's the oldest guy here in camp, and I think probably he's here because they acquired him in a trade from Carolina.
And that one is tapped in as Mennigan couldn't get across in time, and Team St. Louis takes a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, that was Sawyer Mays paying that one off.
Mays is one of the invitee players that you referred to. Still draft eligible. He's only 18 years of age. Rainers Rollers, one of the 2 Latvians who are here this development camp. He's number 64, trying to chop that puck down. I beg your pardon, 63 is Rollers. This one's out in front, and a quick shot from Mercury was stopped.
Some of these players will be able to play junior for a year or two and then go to college if they choose. That's a change, a big change. That only happened within the last year or so. In past, if you played even one game in, say, the Western League or the Ontario League, you were considered a pro by the NCAA, and you could not go to college on a scholarship or whatever. That's been changed. So it used to be a one-way street. If you went to college, things weren't working out, you could go and play in the Western League or the Ontario League, Quebec League, whatever. But the other way, So they evened that out. You can go either way now. And that is a very big change, and it'll be interesting to see the development of some of these players who will be able to play junior and then perhaps go to college as they get older and finish their high school.
We've had our first penalty call, I think, today. A tripping call was made, and there's going to be a penalty shot after this game as a result of that. And at least that's the rules that I've been told here before we started this here today. This is chipped into the corner, but you are right about that major shift. A lot of people are really interested to see what type of effect this has on major junior hockey, both sides of the border, and the college ranks. Here is Zada. Zada, who will be in the mix to play for Team Canada, the World Juniors, this Christmas. And that is it for the first half. 2 goals by Team St. Louis from Gill and Mays. And we'll set up for the second half.
And just a little bit more on that rule change. What we're talking about is, say, a kid with really good skills who is 16 or 17 years old maybe can play some junior hockey in Western League or Ontario League or whatever, and then is not finished his grade 12 yet. After grade 12, then, of course, at college age, he can go to college after that.
Here's Gabby.
Thank you so much, Dave. I am here with Marco Mignosa's parents, who traveled all the way from Canada to be here today. This is Claudio. This is Denise. Your son gave you a shout out earlier, guys. I need to hear about your travels. Where exactly did you come from? Claudio, let's start with you.
We're from a town in Woodbridge, Ontario, Canada. So after he got drafted, we kind of looked at each other and said, hey, our other boy is going to away for his prom weekend. We're kind of left at home as empty nesters. Why not? And she goes like, you're crazy. I said, you know what? We looked online, we found a flight, and here we are.
And here you are. And Tampa is not a bad place to visit. So, Claudio, can you tell me, how was your son introduced to hockey?
Oh, he was introduced at a very young age. He was like started skating at 2 years old, and then just started playing in a local league as a 3-year-old with a bunch of 5-year-olds. And he just took off from there. And to be honest, ever since then, he's never put a stick down. Everywhere he's gone, he's always loved the game. He watches the game. He's just watches every highlight. He just lives and breathes hockey. And no pressure from me at all. He just had a lot of fun doing it, and he loved it, and we support him all the way.
Absolutely, and the Tampa Bay Lightning organization is very happy to have him. Mom is a little bit shy. She didn't want to say much, but Denise, any words for your son?
I'm just really proud to see him here today.
Absolutely, guys. We'll send it back to you.
That's great stuff, and what a road trip for them. Marco Mignosa drafted in the 7th round, 215th overall last week in the NHL entry draft, drafted as a 20-year-old player, but what a thrill for him to be here, and what a thrill for mom and dad as well.
Yeah, no doubt. They've been watching their son play for years and years, and now the ultimate, seeing him get up to this level again and making the trip from Ontario all the way up here. That's great.
And you might think, wow, a guy drafted in his 2nd year of eligibility in the 7th round, that's a long shot. Well, do you remember a guy named Andre Palat?
Yeah.
Worked out pretty good for him.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, there have been some famous 7th round picks. Luc Robitaille, Hall of Famer, played most of his career with the LA Kings, of course, and now he's president of the LA Kings.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, he was a 7th round pick.
And as you saw there during that interview, a couple of goals being scored. It's now 3-1 for Team St. Louis. Team Bradley has already got a win on the board. There's a quick, hard one-timer from Rollers that was stopped by Caleb Hiles back in net, the 19-year-old from Victoria, Minnesota.
On that one-timer, Heil did a real nice job there, too. He looked really calm. Sometimes you see goaltenders flinch a little bit or stand up a little taller. They see a one-timer coming at them, especially from anywhere below the top of the circles, and they get a little tense and they lose their movement. You didn't see that from Heil. Made a really nice save on that one-timer.
That was Mercury cutting to the net there. The 23-year-old you talked about, Brian, the oldest player here at this development camp.
No relation to Freddie. We don't know if he can sing either, but he can play.
And he's got the puck right now. Mercury angled back by Gill. Steen follows up, and it comes back outside the zone. And here is Mignosa. Trying to go straight up the middle and couldn't find a seam, and it's taken over by Rollins, who has to step outside that blue line before they reset.
And that was against Zada. Zada doing a nice job there, playing like a defenseman, backing up. He had good balance there, did a good job defending that play because there was a difference in speed there and, the agility side to side. Forwards are not used to that. When they're skating backwards and defending, it's just not a skill that they're used to using because they're going forward most of the time. And Zada showed some good mobility there, skating backwards.
Well, we talked to John Rosso, the director of amateur scouting, yesterday, and the first thing he said about him was his skating.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of kids in the Toronto area that are from that area have skating coaches, and they said he never had one. It just comes naturally, and you can only imagine what the skating coaches for the Tampa Bay Lightning can do with a guy like that who already is a good skater.
Yeah, you'll hear Julian Brisebois and everybody on the staff here on the Lightning, when they choose players, they talk about their compete level, because Julian always says, we have great confidence in our ability to develop players, the way the coaches will handle them in Syracuse, and even the players that go back to college or go back to junior. The Lightning are watching them all year long, and they'll go back and they'll reassess, where are you at? Yeah, you're coming along pretty good. We wanted you to work on skating. Yeah, you're doing that good stuff. And so they're brought along and developed, and that's a big part of keeping your team fresh, bringing in new talent. And it's the new talent that comes in at the lower financial levels that is critical, Dave, right? I mean, the salary cap now, the numbers for the big-time players mean that you start to run out of dollars at the end. You have to have young players that are developing and bring them in because, okay, they're ready, but also you can fit them in the cap, and it's a good advantage for young players now.
Well, you're talking about a guy who just signed his first real one-way deal in Gage Gonzalez, who was at this development camp, a couple of years ago, and is now earned the trust of this organization and has proven himself and developed into an NHL player. Here's Steen with a shot in there on Heil. He stands his ground and makes one more save as the clock ticks down in the second half of game number 3. And Ethan Zada told Gabby Shirley, oh yeah, that's the best team. We're going to take this thing. Well, they've got their first win. Team Martin St. Louis takes this one, and they get their first win on the board against Team Bradley, which drops to 1-1 today. And we're probably going to have a penalty shot or two because there were some penalties called, so I shouldn't award the win just yet because I'm not exactly sure who the penalties were on. Let's see if this affects the score.
See if the referees remember.
Yeah. This thing moves pretty quick. So Heil's going to go back in between the pipes. And we will have a penalty shot or two as we await game number 4. That'll feature Team Richards against Team Andrechuk.
Nice goal there.
Indeed. That was Connor.
Yeah, real good hands. Waited till last minute, pulled it back behind his feet, and then ripped it in.
And here comes Noah Steen, and that is stopped.
Heil did a good job tracking that when their Steen tried to catch him moving slowly and went backhand, forehand, but didn't fool the goaltender.
And here is Zada. Ethan Zada, and he buries that one cleanly.
Coming in from the angle, you can see pretty well everybody is doing that. Zada does a nice job there, decides which hole he's looking for, and he puts it right in.
So that makes the score 4-2 for Team St. Louis. Connor with a little move back to his skate and back up to his stick, but can't finish that one off.
Yeah, trying a little distraction move there, dropping it into his feet, Connor, but not making the goaltender even blink on that one, and Heil makes another good, solid save. That's what I like to see from the goaltenders, not too much movement. Be calm there, be in good position, look like you're everywhere, and the goaltenders have done a real nice job in these shootouts so far.
The victory goes to Team St. Louis. We'll get set for Game 4. Here again is Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with Dylan Gill, a member of Team St. Louis. Dylan, it was Game 3, but the first game for your team. So do you think fresh legs came into play in this one?
Yeah, I mean we had a hot start. Nice to get a 2-goal lead there, and then play good defense after that. The only thing we gave up was in the penalty shots there. So, yeah, good start for Team St. Louis, and we're going to look forward to the next one.
A great start. Talk to me about team chemistry. How is it? Are we building on it?
Yeah, it's great. We actually, lucky enough, we had 5 of our 6 guys on our team were in Group B during the week, so we're not too many new faces, but definitely clicking well right now.
A very tight group. Thank you so much, and congrats on the win. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Gabby. Game number 4 is underway. Team Richards in blue, Team Andrechuk in white. Team Richards won their first game. Team Andrechuk looking to get on the board here. The goaltender is Anders Miller, 18 years of age, from Anchorage, Alaska, and he plays for the Calgary Hitmen in the Western League.
Did a nice job in that first save, hugging the post on the short side, not giving anything up. He looks big in net, does Miller.
This one's picked up by Weinsbergs, and he is called back. Thought he had to clear the zone, and now they will.
Anders Miller, the goaltender, 13-4-2 on the season in Calgary, the Western Hockey League. 10 playoff games. He was 7-3. He's an invitee to the camp.
He started in Junior A with the Lloydminster Bobcats, was called up, and immediately went 5-1 in the WHL.
Another good save there. You just kind of shrugged that one off with the shoulder. Glove, good placement, backing up with the play, but not too deep in the net. Good, quick left leg save there.
That one on Rotiainen. And the puck goes to the near boards. Rotiainen wins that puck battle and feeds it back to Shagabe.
Miller's only 18 years old, too, Dave.
Here's Rotiainen trying to go one-on-one there against Hagen Burrows, and he was cut off and clears the zone himself. Here comes Maddox LeBray, winds up with a slap shot, and it was partially deflected and went wide. Burrows with a shot tipped up high. Aiden Foster picks it up. Aiden Foster from Lloydminster, Alberta, plays in the Western League with the Prince George Cougars. Shagabe follows up, centers it, ends up with Foster, and his shot is stopped by Miller again.
Foster's listed at 6'2". He looks a lot taller than that. Tall and lanky.
We're told by John Rosso, a very physical, very in-your-face type player.
136 penalty minutes. Yep. Maybe sometimes a little bit overly aggressive. You got to watch those penalty numbers, but
he was third in the Western Hockey League in that department. This one's picked up by Rotiainen, and the clearing pass goes right to Connor Kurth and outside the zone. Back in there goes Kurth. Puck to the net, and it stays out, goes into the corner where it's picked up by Team Richards. No goals yet in game number 4. Jack Harvey, told you about him, plays at BU. He'll drop it off for Golicic. Jan Golicic, who's from Slovenia. There are very few draft picks that come out of that country. One is going to the Hall of Fame in Andrzej Kopitar, and the second highest pick is Golicic. And finally, we have a goal in this game.
Harvey.
And that was Harvey.
Yep. 5-hole shot.
Here's Burrows. Strong move to the net.
Yeah, good hand speed there, coming from a really bad angle there.
Kurth trying to dig that puck out, and Harvey took that one away. Here's Rotiainen. He'll dish off. Sharp angle try. Goes high and over the net, guarded by Miller. Here's Golicic again. Good feed down low. And that one does sneak through.
Nice little move there. Puck back between the feet.
Yeah, Rotiainen. He's been noticeable here today, hasn't he? Number 40 in blue. And that's what you want to do. Make an impression here, get comfortable with the environment, but as you pointed out many times, Brian, every move you make here is being evaluated. Every shift, every moment off the ice.
Yeah. And Rotiainen is the one they traded up with the Boston Bruins, the Lightning did, in order to draft him in the 4th round. Played in Tampere in Finland, and also played in the World Junior Tournament. Playing in the Finnish league against men, it's pretty good stuff. 10 goals, 33 points for Rotiainen.
A 4th round pick, 108th overall. That snapshot from Weinsberg's was blocked as we are in the dying seconds now of the first half of game number 4.
And a couple of guys were dying at the end there. The legs got a little short at the end.
It's a constant action.
Yeah.
Let's take it back downstairs. Here again is Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with Caleb Heil. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, I had to double check. A goaltender from Minnesota. Caleb, let's start by going way back. How did you become a goalie?
Yeah, so my dad, he was a goalie too, so just got me into hockey in general. Skating on the outdoor rinks in Minnesota, got signed up, played a couple years, before we could pick our position, but I tried goalie and I just really enjoyed it, coming up with the big save, and so I was good at it too, and it's kind of all spiraled from there,
You've made a couple big saves thus far in this tournament. How is it going for you?
Yeah, it's going really well. It's fun to be out here, against really good competition and, just playing our game and having fun with these guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck moving forward. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gabby, thank you very much, and thank you to Caleb Heil, the 19-year-old from Minnesota.
Being a goaltender in Minnesota when you're a kid, that means cold feet and a lot of time standing there. If your team's really good and the puck's at the other end of the ice, it can be really tough when they finally come back down and get some shots on you. You get all tightened up from the cold, but a lot of great young players come out of the state of Minnesota.
Absolutely, and Heil's got some good experience, too, already on his resume. Won a bronze medal with Team USA at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, which is a elite-level under-18 tournament that's played in the summertime, and that is the best of who's available in that age group at that time of the year.
He looks big in his equipment, too. He's listed at 6'2", 196, so certainly, very good size for a goaltender. And then when you put all the stuff on, man, it's a big target in net.
Good shot there by Caden Petrie, and a save made by Arthur Smith, who takes over in net from Anders Miller. Petrie was a guy that I really noticed last year. He's wearing number 83 in white for Team Andrechuk. He's a guy who plays in Flint, had a good season there with 22 goals.
And Arthur Smith, 21 years old. He's 6'4", 210. Princeton University. He was 5-7-1 was his record at Princeton this past year.
Shagabe being watched by Petrie and feeds it back to the line for Golicic. And the big guy winds it up. Golicic, with his size, John Rosso telling us that one of his strengths is his passing ability. Sees the ice very well and can get the puck to you.
Yeah, his coordination, we talked about his size and growing into his body, but he's got really good hands. He's smooth for a guy his size at his age.
Rotiainen with a little poke check there, forces Team Andrechuk back. Now here's a break as they try to get something to the net. That's Kurth dancing around, but he's forced outside by Aiden Foster. And now Team Richards takes over. They gain possession with 3.5 minutes to go in this game. 2-0 on goals by Harvey and Rotiainen. He'll dish it down low, up into the high slot, and then just off the stick of Aiden Foster. Game 4 of this 3-on-3 day 1 event, and there's a tip down low and a goal by Weinsbergs to get Team Andrechuk on the board.
Yeah, nice play there. Weinsberg's making himself available right at the net there, too. Really good hands. Weinsberg, 6'3", 212. Played at Colorado College, had 19 points last year. Nice hands at the net.
Told you he's from Riga, Latvia. Has played the last 3 seasons here in North America at Colorado College, as Brian just mentioned, and a year in the USHL for the Lincoln Stars. Another chance, a backhander from Burrows goes wide. Burrows has a goal already today, and a big chance here, but the puck was rolling on him, and Rotiainen came back in and took the rest of the chance away. And here is Benjamin Rotiainen. You know, one thing that really is in the DNA of most Finnish hockey players is work ethic, right? They don't cheat the game at all at any position on the ice. This one comes up and out of the zone, and it's picked up by Shagabe. Shagabe cut off there by LeBray. And he gains possession back, still being watched by Maddox LeBray. Golicic can't turn back. Golicic with a little saucer pass, and Foster eventually got it to sit down and got a shot away.
Lateral movement, puck protection, quick hands, ability to make plays in tight. All of those things are important, things that the coaching staff looks at, and because when push comes to shove, it doesn't matter what league you're in. Yeah, you're going to get some beautiful goals scored on the rush with some open ice and on the move, but a lot of the game is played from tops of the circles down in the offensive zone, both offensively and defensively, rather, and how good are you under pressure in those mano-a-mano battles.
final minute in a one-goal game here, game number 4 of the 3-on-3 tournament. Reminder, we will be on the air on the YouTube channel again tomorrow with a championship game, which will be full ice and 4-on-4.
Yep.
So a
Yep,
different
totally
format.
different.
Yeah, very different.
That's where you'll get to see, more of the speed players. So these guys want to get to the finals. Everything is about competition, and that's the way, the camp is set up. You're out there to win, and that's pro hockey, man, whatever level. It's all about where you finish and winning the most games that you can. So getting them in that frame of mind and playing against their peers here, all part of the process.
Feed down low, little tip in tight. And did that get through? I think
Yes.
it did, yes. So
Yep.
that's going to make it 3-1 just as the time expired.
Shagabe, I think that was again. Yep.
Shagabe got the stick on that, and Team Richards improves to 2-0 today. So they are the leader right now in this tournament. And that will do it for the first half of this 3-on-3. We might have a couple of penalty shots awarded here. Perhaps not. But there are still 3 games to be played. There is going to be a flood, but before we wrap things up and set up the second half, let's send you back down to Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with Mr. Jack Harvey. Just kidding. Jack, your teammate, Jason Chagabe, when I talked to him earlier, he referred to you as the team captain, and he said that is why your team is so strong. Talk to me about your leadership out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't attribute it to that. It's just nice that we've got a couple wins. I think we've been playing hard, playing defense, scoring some goals. So I'll attribute it to those guys.
Team player right there. What is your focus when you're out there on the ice in these competitive half-ice games?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to, minimize mistakes, play together. Obviously, it's a lot of guys that haven't really played together too much. So, just reading off each other, being there for each other. And I think it's worked out so far.
How do you build that team chemistry? As you said, you guys are kind of just coming in. You know each other from previous years, but you don't really play together all that much. So what are the keys to becoming really a team out there?
Yeah, I think just understanding that we're a team for this little time. So, try to make the most of it, be friendly to each other, don't get on each other, just talk, talk through things. And yeah, just basically all that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and great job out there. Guys, I will send it back to you.
All right, Gabby, thank you very much. Welcome back upstairs. Dave Randorf back with you along with Brian Engblom. So 4 games in the books and a chance for all of us to get a look at some of these young prospects for the Lightning. What stood out to you in the first session today?
I really like Heil in goal. I thought he made a lot of really good saves. I mentioned a couple of times the fact that the goaltenders can get overwhelmed in these situations. You just got players coming at you. You can't even remember who's on your team sometimes, right? Because first time the blue guys are coming at you, and then it's the white ones next time. So the constant onslaught for the goaltenders, it's important. And, fatigue is a factor. I thought he looked really good, calm and controlled, and made a lot of really nice saves, whether it was up top or particularly with the pads and lower down saves. Rotiainen, I think, too, was noticeable. Benjamin Rotiainen, and played in Finland last year. I thought he had the puck a lot and made some nice plays, too.
So we are certainly glad you are with us. We still have 3 games to cover and bring your way here on the Tampa Bay Lightning YouTube channel. You can probably hear the Zamboni behind us resurfacing the ice. We're going to take about a 15-minute break, so go grab a snack or go walk around, stretch your legs a little bit, and come on back and join us for the remainder of the 3-on-3 tournament, day 1, here at the 2025 Tampa Bay Lightning Development Camp.
4th pick in the 2nd round of the 2025 NHL Draft, Tampa Bay Lightning have selected Ethan Zada from Niagara, in the Ontario Hockey League.
What do you think?
I like it. I'm really excited. I'm relieved. I'm a bunch of stuff. I don't know kind of what to think right now, to be honest. I'm really excited. Simon! You got this. You too, man. So when I heard my name, it was like, I was excited. I really wanted to go to Florida, so. Yeah. Oh, now I gotta answer all these later. It's something that obviously I dreamed of, and to spend it with the most important people in my life. Oh my God! I can't wait to believe it, dude. It's something that's like hard to say, really. It was awesome.
Team Canada has certainly got him fueled, and he's in the right spot again, but he just blows the doors off of Jan Ruda. Jan Ruda's at a disadvantage. He's standing still facing up the ice.
But diving back there to break it up. A Red Wing took that one away. That was to break it. And there's another chance. Kucherov scores!
They get a great scoring chance opportunity here. And inside the zone, Nikita Kucherov with just some brilliant moves.
Chance that was. Now final minute of regulation. Centering pass. Here's Point. Scores!
Oh my.
Brayden Point!
From in the corner to the scoring area, and all he needs is a moment. And look at Brayden Point. How many players can make that move?
Back up top. Schmidt with a hard drive. Puck is loose. Save. Rebound. Oh! Vasilevsky comes down and makes another spectacular save.
This right pad save. Not this one coming up. How do you stretch your legs? That is
smoothly as Kucherov. Kucherov to his left. Kucherov circles the net. Wraparound try of his own. Score! Oh, what a move by Kucherov!
So now you've got this slow developing play. Really smart by Kucherov. Recognize what he has.
For Kucherov. Turned back by Fabro. Taken by Point. Point. Toe drag. Point. Score! What a move by Brayden Point!
And Point dangles one of the game's best defensemen in Roman Josi.
Point across the line. Went behind the back, hoping for Kucherov. Centering pass. Gensel scores!
What a pass.
An unbelievable pass. Kucherov to Gensel. And the Lightning have the lead.
And this is why I say Uchiwari, Coochie Bang Bang. Because just like that, it's in the back of the net, Bob. And look, it doesn't matter. Bring 2, 3 guys. Doesn't matter. No one sees the ice the way this guy does.
They done it to the backhand, gets it up. Here comes Hagel trying to skate away. Brandon Hagel short-handed. Scores! What a goal! Brandon Hagel, short-hander.
The Lightning get it out of the zone. Hagel's already anticipated. He's in good position if it goes sideways defensively. So watch him fight off this check. It is just not going to happen. He figures out right there he can't get inside.
The only way to make healthcare better for the people of Florida is to keep solving, with health solutions that are more affordable and easier to access. And at Florida Blue, we want you to know how we're doing it, offering support at our Florida Blue centers to help you get the most out of your plan. making mental health appointments more available so you can be seen within a week, and creating low-cost plans with benefits you want and need. See health solutions that are making healthcare more affordable. Florida Blue, your health solutions partner.
Scores! It's a lightning strike in overtime! Lightning win it! Welcome back to Lightning fans, wherever you are logged in today on the YouTube channel here. Dave Randolph back with you along with my broadcast partner Brian Engblom. Gabby Shirley is with us as well. If you are just joining us, welcome to the 2025 Tampa Bay Lightning Development Camp and the day one of their 3-on-3 tournament. A big day for a lot of first-timers and a big day for any prospect who is here that has the dream of making it to the NHL and playing for real in the National Hockey League wearing that NHL Lightning jersey.
A big advantage for these young kids to be able to come out and get their feet wet and just get a feel again, get over the nerves. I think everybody's been around the block once now, so that'll help an awful lot. And I think these last couple of games here, you'll see a difference. Players starting to drive the net a little more and shoot the puck, make some moves. Again, this is summer too, and for some of them, they haven't been on the ice in a long time in a competitive situation. They might have been playing a little pickup or maybe working with a local coach at home on some skills. But, this is another level again here at 3-on-3.
And so the 3-on-3 tournament resumes. As mentioned, there are 4 games in the books. We've got 3 more games to watch here. A total of 31 prospects are here at this development camp all week long, and we should point out, here's a chance, and a nice finish in on Harrison and Minigan. And right off the bat, that is a goal from Team Le Cavalier.
That was Arnott. Arnott scored the goal.
Callum Arnott from King City, Ontario, plays at Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because it's harder for you. There are no numbers on the sleeves like there are in the NHL, so sometimes you can't pick up the number.
Team St. Louis is wearing white, and there's Milo Rollins with a snapshot that goes high and wide and picked up by Team Le Cavalier again. Team Le Cavalier is wearing blue. They were wearing the white jerseys in case you were with us in the opening segment. Rollins, who played pro hockey in the AHL and East Coast League last season after 5 years in the Quebec League.
Yeah, he's done a good job. trying to keep an eye on a couple of these big guys. Rollins being one of them, 6'7", 216 pounds. And those are the guys that develop a little bit more slowly. He and Golicic, who's also 6'6" or 6'7", somewhere in that neighborhood. Both of them have done a nice job here in this first day.
Here's Arnott, who's got the goal. His uncle, Jason Arnott, played 18 seasons in the National Hockey League.
Good player, yeah. Big-time center. Great hands.
Stanley Cup champion as well with the New Jersey Devils 25 years ago. So some good pedigree there for Callum Arnott, who's got the lone goal so far in this 3-on-3 game. Elger puts this one up the board. Spada was waiting for it. And it's picked up and moved out by Team Le Cavalier. This is Cooper Flinton. Spada picks up the puck. And that snapshot is handled. 6'4" Grant Spada.
And it's not just what they're doing with the puck and can they make some nice moves in tight and find teammates and make passes. It's every player out there has done a good job of looking around and realizing where they are on the ice. Good stick position, forcing the guy with the puck to as bad an angle as possible. Again, close quarters basically from the blue line in. 3-on-3 here, so not a lot of room to move, but positioning is important. If you're showing you know where to go and when to get there, that shows you a lot.
Ethan Gauthier is out there, number 89. We've told you he was a high second-round pick in 2023. One of the higher picks the Lightning have had in the past few drafts. He also won the Mike Bossy Trophy in the Quebec League, which goes to the top pro prospect in that league. So that's a great sign for him. Right up the middle is Rollers. Rollers drops it off for Ethan Zada, who was the high second-round pick, the highest pick the Lightning had in the draft last week.
If you're going to win the Mike Bossy Award, then if you follow in Bossy's footsteps, that guy just never missed the net. What an incredible goal scorer. Remember when Bossy first came into the league, he was asked by his GM, what do you think you can do? He said, well, I'm going to make the team. He said, I'm going to try and score 50. And they went, oh, yeah, okay. I think he ended up scoring 50 goals about 8 times.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Bossy, one of the great players I ever played against. I swear he never missed the net.
The late Mike Bossy, what a great player, left us way too early.
Yeah.
And you're right, often underrated for how many goals he scored.
Yes.
And how good he was.
He and Brian Trottier, they were joined at the hip, and what a combo they were.
Elger took that one around the net. It ends up in the corner where it is picked up by Spada. And Spada is cut off in his lane to the goal. Final minute now, the first half. In case you're just joining us, 2 5-minute halves of 3-on-3.
Good shot there by Gill. Oh, that was nasty. Good shoulder save there by Mennigan.
And Mennigan's playing without a stick right now. Here's Ethan Zada. Zada centers it back across. And it's picked up by Rollins. Boy, Rollins such a big guy. He still gets around in tight spaces, doesn't he?
Yeah, it protects the puck really well. Good hands, good movements there, smooth.
He was definitely one of the guys, as that pass goes to Gill, fought off by Mennigan, who's got his stick back. Rollins was one of the guys I really noticed last year, along with a guy named Connor Geekie, who went on to play in the NHL last season with the Lightning. Oh, nice save there by Harrison Mennigan on that one.
And it was Rollins who just made that pass from the corner to get that scoring chance before he got a line change.
So 1 goal scored by Team Le Cavalier and the goal by Arnott. We have a 1-minute break before the second half of this game. Let's take it downstairs and rejoin Gabby Shirley.
Thank you, Dave. I'm here with Noah Steen of Team Bradley. Noah, just for starters, how is this 3-on-3 tournament going for your group?
Okay, I would say. We're 1 win and 1 lose, so try to get the next one. We're in a good spot for tomorrow.
It's tough, right, when you are playing with guys that you don't typically play with to generate that chemistry. But how can you kind of help your team to just know each other and know where you're going to be on the ice?
Talk a lot. We're just trying to communicate as much as possible. And, yeah, I know just try to be happy and just spread good energy. So, yeah, we're just trying to have a good, chemistry in the group. That's what we're trying to do.
My broadcast partner up there, Brian Engblom, he was saying as each game comes, it looks like everyone's getting more and more comfortable. Perhaps it's even getting more and more competitive. Do you feel that out there?
Yeah, for sure. The first game was a bit slow, but the second was much more competitive. So yeah, the third one will be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thanks, Gabby.
I love
20-year-old.
that.
Yeah.
I love that line. Be happy. Be happy out there. That's a great thing to
Not
say.
bad.
Yeah.
Steen is 20 years of age. He's from Oslo, Norway, and you know one guy who's definitely cheering for him would be Emil Lilleberg, who became a regular along the Lightning Blue line this past season, and is just the 9th Norwegian-born player to ever play in the NHL, and Steen is making his bid to maybe become the 10th.
Yeah, Steen played in Örebro in the Swedish league last year, and he's just finding his way, according to the scouting staff. Because he's young, also. Last season, he's just trying to get enough ice time playing in a men's league, and if you're playing third, fourth line, you're not going to get as many scoring chances. You're not going to get as much power play time, so you don't see the numbers for him, but it's part of his development.
Caleb Heil is in net now. He's already made one good save, and you liked him in the first session we've seen today.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. Really calm in net, made a lot of really good saves, both down low and up top.
There's another stop down low as Rayner's rollers cut across the front of the net.
I've never been a fan of goaltenders that are spectacular. I mean, spectacular saves are necessary at times, certainly, because you're going to get caught out of position. But if you're constantly looking spectacular, it means something's wrong. Like you weren't there in the right place to begin with, and you had to recover too many times. So I like the fact that Heil in particular was very calm, well-positioned, and made a lot of saves look easy.
And that's the key, right? Guys who always seem to be in position, on their feet. Not everybody can be Dominik Hasek.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Hasek was the exception. He looked spectacular all the time, but he was anything but orthodox. That's not something you teach. There's no goalie coaches out there saying, okay, I'm going to make you into Dominik Hasek again.
No.
Yeah, good luck with that.
He was spectacular, though, on his way to the Hall of Fame.
No doubt, yeah.
Elger dropped that puck back, and it's picked up there by Team Le Cavalier.
And it's a great point, Dave. Over the last 10 years in particular, there's been so much progress in goaltenders and goaltending coaching, positionally, how to make saves, how to move in the net, post to the middle and back to the post again, low and high shots. And in some ways, I think it's made a lot of cookie-cutter goaltenders. And sometimes I think coaches take away natural talents. The Dominik Haseks out there, the young guys. Sometimes you got to let a guy use his natural instincts as far as he can, and you try and refine them a little bit, certainly with positional play. That's probably true with defensemen and forwards, but I think particularly with goaltending, it's really changed, or certainly over the last 20 years or so, where goalies were sort of making it up on their own more in the past than they have been over the last generation or so.
There are a total of 4 goaltenders here at this year's development camp. Heil is putting on a pretty decent show here so far today. And by the way, all these players do have access to all the facilities here and a lot of the coaches. Franz John, the longtime goaltender coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning, is here working with these goaltenders. And if I was a young goalie, to have Andrei Vasilevsky's goalie coach telling me what to do, I would be all ears.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the next step for these guys, too. When the ones that will come to the main camp, that's a whole nother level. When you get out on the ice with guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Vasilevsky certainly has a shot. Victor Hedman, players like that. Kucherov, of course. There's an intimidation factor that happens to the players, but first things first. That's why this camp is so important, that you can kind of get your feet wet, show some things to the organization, and then the next step is getting on the ice with the big boys in September.
Good pass down low, but Spada was in too tight, and Heil shut the door on the doorstep. Here's Elger again, trying to work it off the boards against Rollins, and now he'll cut back and into the middle. Boy, you really see those tight space skills in this format, don't you?
Yeah, the hand speed, the ability to handle it while you're looking around and looking for teammates. It's the little details like that. How often are players, are they looking down at the puck, or are they aware of not only their own players, but where the other 3 players on the opposing team are in this situation too? Those are all key factors in a player's ability to make plays.
Good chance there again for Will Elger, but another stop by Heil, and he got a bunch of stick taps from the boys at center ice, all watching. Caleb Heil, we've told you about him, 19 years of age, committed to play at North Dakota a season from now. He's expected to go back to the USHL for the upcoming season in Madison. Rollins with time winding down, and Heil fights one more off, and that one goes up and out, and Team Le Cavalier gets its first win on the only goal of that game, scored by Callum Arnott. We'll see if some penalty shots are awarded here to affect the score. And it appears as though there are going to be a couple. We want to get a look at the skill set for the shootout abilities of these guys as well.
I'd like to see 1 or 2 of these guys come in the shootout and come in with a little bit more speed.
That is game 5 of the 7-game schedule here today. Getting set for game 6. After they complete this one in the shootout, they're just trying to decide who's going to take the shots. And it looks like Milo Rollins is going to go in there for Team St. Louis.
Nice.
He just tucked one in.
He did, yeah. That long reach really came in handy there for Rollins. Excellent there. Yeah, he's 6'7", and he used all of it there, leaving the puck behind him a little bit, just tapping it in past the pad. He came in with more speed, too.
So on the scoreboard, that ties things up, and we are told that these penalty shots are awarded for any infractions that may have occurred during the 3-on-3 play. But here comes Flinton, Cooper Flinton. Try to squeeze one in there on Heil, and it goes out the other side and wide.
Yeah, looking for the 5-hole there. Your options get limited when you're traveling slowly and going east to west. You got to make a last-second decision. Are you going 5-hole? Are you going up top? Nice job there again. And I think if you've been paying attention, if you're a shooter here against Heil, that you're not going to get many chances down low. He shuts everything off.
Save made on Zada. This is Gauthier, and Gauthier dancing in there. He's turned aside. So they're just going to try to determine a winner here. It's score's tied at 1. Here's Rollins again. Rollins already scored in the shootout, but he stopped there.
That went in off his body on a rebound. That doesn't count.
We're
not seeing anybody really shoot, Dave. Nobody coming in more down the middle and just picking a corner. Everybody's trying to show their moves. There's a good play.
That's not bad. Will Elger for
Nice
Team
shot.
Le Cavalier.
And he didn't get in tight there. I think that's the key against Heil. You got to stay out a little more. Another good save.
Save made by Heil, and that'll do it. This is going to be a win for Team Le Cavalier as they get the victory and get on the board.
We're up to game 6 now. It'll be Richards against the Bradley team.
And before we do that, let's send it back down to ice level. And here again is Gabby Shirley.
Dave, I think you tossed to me. I am waiting for Will Elger of the winning team. Hold on, I think he's coming. Will, can we do a quick interview? All right, let's do it. I guess take me through your shot there in the shootout.
Yeah, it's kind of my go-to. Come on the right side, slow down, wait for him to bite, and low left usually opens for me.
And are you pleased with your team's performance thus far in this round-robin tournament?
Yeah, some stuff to improve on, obviously, but happy with it so far.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. And congrats. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gabby, thanks very much. An early goal scored already by
Connor.
Joe Connor.
Yeah, that was a beauty from in tight, right up under the bar.
So this is Team Brad Richards. They are wearing the blue jerseys, and Team Bradley Team Bradley in the white, and the goal scored by 20-year-old Joe Connors so far.
Some nice quick hands by Connor. He got a little too much air under that one, but it was a good idea from an angle. Catch and release right away, trying to go top shelf. Connor looking pretty sharp here early.
Warren Clark's shot rises off a stick and out of play.
Golicic with the good reach there again, deflecting that one up and out.
The puck is gathered in the neutral zone, and stepping in, here comes Noah Steen. We heard that great interview he just did a few moments ago with Gabby Shirley. Spent the last 5 seasons playing in Sweden, and that includes time in the Swedish Elite League as well. Here's Clark to the net, and Miller keeps that one out. Anders Miller back in net for Team Richards here.
That was a really nice move by Clark. A very smooth acceleration in one step, a big, long stride, and he was in.
That one goes upstairs on the finish there by Foster. Aiden Foster finding the top shelf. So it's 2-0 for Team Richards. Here's Rautiainen. Benjamin Rautiainen caught the eye of you, Brian, in the first session today.
Yep. Steen did a nice job one-on-one against him there. He was ready for that little cutback move.
Puck picked up in the corner. Sent back by Steen, and now here comes Marco Mignosa. Mignosa to the net, fished one back, and it's tucked in on the back door. Nice play there.
Mercury ended up scoring that one, but Mignosa made the play.
Lucas Mercury just had to have his stick on the ice, and he did, but Mignosa, who we've talked about earlier today, was an 85-point player in the Ontario League this year, as that one goes up and out of play.
Lucas Mercury, 6'3", 220 pounds, 10 goals playing at UMass, and then he also played 6 games in Syracuse at the end of the year.
2 minutes remaining in this opening 5-minute half. Some moves in the middle. It's dropped off to Golicic. Jan Golicic trying to make a move into the middle, and he was poke checked, and the puck rolls outside the blue line where Team Bradley resets, steps back in. Clark with a drive, rebound, scored, tapped in there by Steen.
Good quickness there by Steen, good positioning, ready for that rebound, quick hands, and put it in the back of the net.
So Golicic will try this one again. This time he goes wide, and his backhander shoveled high over the shoulder there of Anders Miller. Up ahead for Steen again. Steen, nice little move in tight, but his shot was handled at the far post. Connor goes upstairs in tight. How about that for hands?
Yeah, Joe Connor, he's having a real nice game here. Starting to become more and more noticeable, Connor.
Joe Connor was, in his freshman season at Northeastern, named their Rookie of the Year. 7th rounder in the 2024 draft for the Lightning was Connor, who's wearing number 60 in white and has got the puck right now.
Yeah, he's got to have those quick hands and good finish. He's 5'9", 167 pounds, so he's fighting against guys that are much bigger than he is. So he's going to have that escapability, the first quick steps coming off the wall, and when he gets in tight, make it count.
Clark picks up the puck, steps outside the blue line, and re-enters the zone, takes a shot, and it's fought off by Anders Miller. Miller from Anchorage, Alaska, trying to follow in the footsteps of Jeremy Swayman, another famous NHL netminer from Alaska. Now here's some room there for Steen, stepped in, and the shot doesn't go as time expires on the first half of game number 6 here in this 3-on-3 tournament here at TGH Iceplex. Lightning Development Camp brought to you by Florida Blue.
Anders Miller did a nice job there. Yeah, you mentioned him being from Alaska. Played in Calgary, 13-4-2. That's quite a record playing in the Western Hockey League. 6'2", 190 pounds, 18-year-old goaltender, and He's an invitee to this camp. Nice job. He was 7-3 in the playoffs, was Anders Miller.
Yep, Calgary eventually lost in the second round there, but he got some great experience, no doubt, playing the Western League that carried on into the postseason. But he is relieved now by Arthur Smith, 21 years of age, from Farmington, Connecticut.
Princeton University guy, 5-7-1, his record at Princeton for Arthur Smith.
Well, you liked Joe Connor in that earlier action, and he's standing by with Gabby Shirley. Gabby.
With a bit of a fat lip, so we'll only give him one here. But Joe, you scored in that first half. Talk to us a little bit about your game.
Yeah, I think me and the boys in white are going pretty good right now. We're finally starting to click a little bit, and I think we're just too worried about those. We need to get a regulation win here, and if I think we do that, I think we'll be in a good position for tomorrow.
All right, I'll let you get to it. Thank you so much, and perhaps we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Golicic picks up the puck. Jan Golicic flipped it back wide to Jason Shagabe. Nice little move to cut back by Shagabe. Great feed down low to Golicic. And that was a nice tap in. Good finish there by the big rangy defenseman. A nice play by Shagabe.
Yeah, Shagabe with really good hands there. And as he made that quick little move and he spotted the open Golicic off to the corner there, that was an easy goal for them. Nice play by Shagabe.
So Team Richards 2-0 after the first session here today. They've tied this up. 3-3. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the second half of this 3-on-3 game.
Shagabe is from War Road High School. And guess who else went there? TJ Oshie. He was a big TJ Oshie fan, and why wouldn't you be? So good footsteps to follow into for Shagabe.
Harvey angled off by Mercury. Got the shot away, went wide, and then ricochets off the corner boards where it's picked up by Foster. Walking out is Harvey, and his shot is deflected up and out of play. Again, a reminder that tomorrow we will have more coverage from the development camp and the tournament going on here. The championship game is going to be 4-on-4, and it's going to be full ice. So you'll want to tune in for that to see a different set of skills from all of these young players that are all trying to make an impression before they all head back to their respective homes and continue their off-season training in preparation for their respective seasons.
Good hustle there by Joe Connor to get back defensively right to the net and take away a possible scoring chance.
This is Clark. Clark couldn't find a lane, and Rotiainen digs that one out and pulls it outside the zone. So, and then he lost an edge there along the near side boards. He's right back up. Benjamin Rotiainen trying to shake the check of Steen. Shagabe flew it back out in front. He made that great play on the last goal in this game. Now Team Bradley back with the puck. Taken away by Aiden Foster, and then it's turned over to Steen. Steen, some good quick hands, but Smith stands his ground and bails his mates out in front of him. Golicic. Jan Golicic had just 4 goals playing this year in Gatineau, but I tell you what, he's got a little confidence with the puck, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. We talked about his size and his range and everything, but I like his hands and the fact that he looks like he's getting more and more confident here as these little games have gone on.
There have only been 8 Slovenian players drafted in the NHL entry draft. Only one of them has been in the first round, and that is Andrzej Kopitar. So Golicic has about 1,400 games to catch up to him.
Rotiainen, what a shot that was. Nice finish.
He's definitely making a good first impression here today, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mignosa fed it down low, got through Mercury, and picked up in the corner there by Team Bradley. Team Richards with the lead here. This is Mercury, and he picks the top corner.
He's a big man. Yeah, with the way Mercury moves around out there, he's got some really good hands. He scored a couple here, and that was probably his nicest top shelf short side.
Well, this is game number 6 we've seen so far in the 3-on-3 tournament, and it's by far the highest scoring game. 4-4, Brian, with a minute to go. Here's Rautiainen and waits, and the rebound is tapped in, and Team Richards gets the lead back. 5-4 with 50 seconds remaining on the clock.
That was Shagabe again with the goal.
Shagabe's been noticeable in this game as well.
Yep. Quick, good hands, really good around the net.
John Rosso saying to you and I yesterday when we had a visit with him that he's added a lot of muscle to his frame, which is a good thing for his offensive skill set. He's got the puck now, cuts back on Clark, and then drops it back.
There's only so much these guys can do at their ages, too, whether it's 18, 19, 20 years old. You can only put on so much weight in any given year. Otherwise, you start to lose some of your best assets. I remember a long time ago when Jacques Lemaire was coaching in Minnesota, he had Pierre-Marc Bouchard, who was not the biggest guy. And he told his Bouchard's off-season coach, if you put any more than 7 or 8 pounds on him, I will not let you back in the arena.
And he meant it.
Oh, absolutely. Jacques meant it. Yeah, he put the fear of God in him all right. He said, so he was like 160 or 165 pounds Bouchard was when he first turned pro. And he was afraid, Jacques was afraid, that you try and put 20 pounds on him at one time, it's just not going to work.
So another win for Team Richards. They improved to 3-0 in this tournament here today. Let's send you down to Gabby Shirley.
Thank you, Dave. I'm here with Jan Golicic, who is a member of Team Richards.
Exactly.
The team is undefeated right now. Okay, what are the keys to your success?
I think we're just keeping it simple, just playing fast together as a team and putting the puck on net. And that's exactly what we're supposed to do. And yeah, we're just enjoying it right now.
And Jan, how much fun are you having? Because winning is a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so much fun, especially when you're doing it with the guys that you got to know even last year. I think we're a pretty nice team. We talk a lot, we're friends, and I think that's what matters.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck moving forward here. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gabby, game number 7, the final game of this 3-on-3 format for today is going to feature Team Andrechuk. They are now wearing the blue jerseys, and Team St. Louis in white.
Well, if you're Team Andrechuk, you should be good around the net, deflecting, plays in tight. Andy got in the Hall of Fame by doing that. And Marty St. Louis, of course, a totally opposite kind of player from Andrechuk. Let's see what these two teams can do, named after those two great players.
LeBray, strong move to the net, and he flips that one just wide on Mennigan, who's back between the pipes, the Medicine Hat Tiger, who went all the way to the Memorial Cup final. Mennigan is been a much talked about player in the last couple of months because he battled personal tragedy. His father, Darren, passed away early in March suddenly, and about 5 days later, Harrison Mennigan started game 1 of the playoffs and had a 21-save shutout for his dad.
Yeah, amazing story off ice. It's life, and it is tragic too many times. And what he went through, and it just makes him a better person, a better player, being able to withstand all those types of situations. And you can't get any worse, really, than that. And good on him for accomplishing what he did under those circumstances with his dad passing away.
And from a purely hockey standpoint, the Lightning certainly would love the fact that he got that great experience in the playoffs, going all the way to a championship game. It's going to serve him well as a goaltender going forward as he takes the next steps. He's 20 years of age from South Surrey, British Columbia. Here's Petrie, Caden Petrie, who came back from a shoulder surgery about a year ago and put up some solid numbers in Flint. Career highs for him, 22 goals, 53 points. This one's picked up by Zada. Ethan Zada. Good hard snapshot, ricochets wide.
Zada's got that quickness to his game, but from all the reports that we've heard, he's a terrific skater. He's got great high-end speed. And as I said before we even started these games, this type of situation does not, give you the chance to really show that speed, right? It's all close quarters, mostly from the blue line in. So If Zada can get his team into the finals and you start to see full ice 4-on-4, then we'll see some other attributes from players like Zada, who does have that kind of speed.
Zada was taken 56 overall last week of the NHL entry draft. The Lightning had him targeted and had to sit and wait.
Yeah.
That was the highest pick they had in the draft, and they really wanted Zada, and sure enough, he fell. He was higher on a lot of scouts' list and prospecting charts that they make up prior to the draft. He was a little higher than 56, and they were thrilled to get him.
Yeah, they feel like that Zada's got the entire package. As mentioned, the skating, which we'll see later perhaps, but the playmaking, and like he can grind and he can play physical. So he's got a good understanding of the total game there, and I think that's why the scouts were really happy that he was still available when they finally got their first pick in the second round.
Zada just clearing the zone now. He's won gold at the World Under-18, gold at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, another elite Under-18 tournament, gold at the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. So he's been on some good teams, and he will definitely be in the mix to play for Team Canada, the upcoming World Juniors.
That's such an important thing. When you can play on elite teams like that and you win, it teaches you so much about your own game, but it teaches you about winning and what it takes and how your teammates play under pressure and how you respond under pressure. So all that really valuable experience at a very young age for Zada. Good for him.
And good for the Lightning going forward.
Yeah.
Here's Baldwin now. Everett Baldwin, beg your pardon, a defenseman from Providence, Rhode Island, played high school prep hockey last season. Here's Saaralainen. Jonas Saaralainen tried a feed down low to Rullers, didn't get through or into the final minute of the first half of this 3-on-3 contest. No score yet. I think they used up all the goals in the last game. Here's a little tip in tight, and that one doesn't go either. Mennigan holds his ground. Shoveled back in by LaBray. Centering pass. Mennigan comes across to take that one away.
Yeah, good challenge there by Mennigan, coming across, flying actually head first and making the save. Took away everything down low. That was little Dominic Hasek action there. Diving out and getting close to the puck area. That's what Hasek was so famous for, those plays in tight. He would get so close to the puck and to the shooter that there was no angle to get it up and over him.
And finally, they get one past him just as time expires. That was Rollins with a snapshot, giving Team St. Louis a 1-0 lead with 5 minutes to go in this one, Brian.
Yeah, Rollins again, good job. 6'7", 216 pounds. Played in Syracuse and in Orlando. And I think that time in Orlando, getting more ice time in situations helped him a lot.
And he is standing by now with Gabby Shirley. Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, I'm here with Milo Rollins, who just scored that goal in the first half of this game. Milo, take me through the mindset. This is Game 7 of the day, the final one. Are you just trying to leave it all out there on the ice?
Yeah, we're trying to finish this day 2-1, so we're working hard. It's competitive, so it's fun. It's very fun.
Yeah, it just seems like each game it's getting more and more competitive. I mean, talk to me about your competitive spirit. When did that originate for you?
I think we all want to win, so you know, there's a cup at the end of the day tomorrow, so we want to put our names up there. So there's a lot of, I mean, Kuch is probably on there, but Vasilevsky, so we want to, you know, put our name where they are.
Awesome. We'll be looking forward to see who gets their names on that cup. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
And that's exactly what you talked about, isn't it?
Yeah.
These guys, they want their names on that trophy right beside some of those Lightning legends.
Yeah, it's your competitive level. Every player's is different. Some guys are just so driven every second of every game, and others, you know, come across as more aloof and pick their spots. Now, you can be successful doing it both ways, but ultimately it's about winning and realizing that you have to do the right thing at the right time and give everything. That's what winning in team sports is all about.
We're told you that Rollins played pro last year. He played 5 seasons in the Quebec Major Junior League and was signed as a free agent by the Lightning in March of 2024 after those years in the junior leagues, and he wants to make the next step. And for my money, he's been quite noticeable at this camp the last 2 years.
Yep.
And that includes today. Here's Gill. Pass across the goal mouth. 1-0 on the goal by Rollins. 4.5 minutes remaining in today's action. More 3-on-3 to come tomorrow and the championship game. And we will have all that for you tomorrow on the Lightning YouTube channel. Glad to have you with us here today. Still 3 months away from the real thing, but it's never too early to get back into the rink, huh, Brian?
No, that's right. And this tournament, of course, gives the players an understanding of where they fit compared to their peers. It'll incentivize them to really bear down in areas that will become apparent to them. And coaches can tell a player, look, we need you to get stronger. And when they get out there and lean on a guy and realize that, oh, yeah, I know what they're talking about, now you've got, the rest of the summer to come back before training camp, and you can accomplish an awful lot with the programs that they'll put players on. And they'll have individualized ones for each of these players. It's fantastic stuff. And then the dedication will show through between now and main training camps. How much work did you do in the offseason?
Here's Sarlainen coming in. He was robbed moments ago by Heil, who's made some good saves here today. Dropped off to Gill. Gill's shot stopped again by Caleb Heil. Now it's picked up by Ethan Zada. Zada will curl back. Nice little drop pass there to Rollins, trying to get up the middle there, but he was defended well. Gill again. Wrist shot, blocker saved by Heil. Here's Rollins again, who still has the only goal of this game. He can't get a shot away. Hagen Burrows will pick it up from there. Burrows picked up a goal earlier today. Now in tight with a chance there was Baldwin. And in steps Zada again. Zada feeds it across. Nice pass. And another good save by Heil. Connor Kurth picks up the puck. Connor Kurth from Elk River, Minnesota, 21 years of age. And how about that one?
Yeah, from a bad angle, put it on his backhand there and ladled it right up under bar. Nice goal there by Kurth.
Kurth, who had career highs last year in his NCAA career at the University of Minnesota. 18 goals for him, 39 points in 40 games. Not bad at all. Under 2 minutes to go here. Game is now tied between Team Andrechuk in blue, Team St. Louis in white. And that shot goes high into the netting. See what Rollins has to say now. He'll drop it off for Zada. And Zada is stripped. Can't step around Kurth. Kurth bumped there by Rollins. Puts it towards the net, and Heil will cover that one up.
Kurth's done a nice job as these games have gone along, too. He's solid defensively. He leans in on the plays defensively, turns pucks over, made some nice plays. Oh, there's the first hit, really, we've seen.
Kurth did get some pro experience last year as well. He finished his season in Syracuse in the American League. Final minute now in a 1-1 game. Final game of today's schedule in the 3-on-3 tournament here in the 2025 Lightning Development Camp. Development and rookie camps going on across the NHL right now, as the first important steps are taken by future NHL stars. You never know who you're going to be looking at today. Well, I remember in my first development camp looking down at my roster all the time going, who is this Ross Colton guy? He's all over the place.
Yeah.
And he ended up scoring a Stanley Cup winning goal a few years later for the Lightning. Here's Kurth. Drops it off. Save made by Heil. And time's going to wind down, and we're going to settle this final game with some penalty shots. 1-1. Rollins and Kurth, the goal scorers.
Guys are pretty tired. Pretty much all of them are down to one knee. It's a lot of skating, a lot of moving. Kurt's going to go first.
And Kurt just flips that one up and over the shoulder. So Kurt has got both goals here for Team Andrechuk. They're looking for their first win. I don't know if that's going to be it or not. Are they going to give the other guys a shot? Yep, Heil's going back between the pipes.
It's a lot for the goaltenders. You know, all of them have seen their share of rubber coming at them. I'm sure they'll sleep well tonight, too.
Ooh, Caden Petrie. No nonsense there, finding the top shelf quickly.
One of the few times, maybe the first time, that just come in and looking shot right off the bat. Didn't try to make a lot of moves back and forth. Good quick hands there.
And that will settle it as Team Andrechuk gets the win there in the shootout. And that will conclude the official 3-on-3 proceedings as we look forward to tomorrow's action. There is 3 more games scheduled. And then, of course, the championship game, 2 20-minute periods with a full flood in between. And that'll be full ice, and that'll be 4-on-4. So we'll look forward to all that.
And it starts earlier tomorrow, too.
Yes, that's right. We are going to be on the air just before noon Eastern. But before we get to all of that, let's send you back downstairs. Once again, here is Gabby.
Thank you, Dave. I am here with Connor Kurth. You just won the last game of the day. Tell me, day one of the round-robin tournament, how was it for you?
You know, it was a battle. A lot of leg cramps out of the guys, but I mean, that's why we're here, to get better and get stronger. So this is just a little extra piece that we get to do, and it's nice that the fans always come out and support us. But it was good. You know, we didn't have the record we wanted, but we found a way to get one. So, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
I was just going to say, how will you attack tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, we only got one game left, and I think we're still in it technically. So if we get a win tomorrow, we'll see. But the ball's out of our court at this point.
All right, well, we'll be cheering for you. This is your 4th development camp. He has never won the trophy, guys, but he's still looking to do it, right?
Yeah, I'm still looking to do it. My grandparents, my mom and dad, they always watch the stream, so shout out to them. I'd like to get one for them back home. But yeah, year 4, so I think this one might be my last.
Well, again, we're cheering for you, and yes, I love the shout out to the Kurth family. Yeah. Thank you so much, and guys, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby.
Yeah,
and yes,
great.
A big hello to the Kurth family and everybody who's tuned in today to this stream here on the Lightning YouTube channel at TGH Iceplex in Tampa. Dave Randorf back with you along with Brian Engblom to put a wrap on 7 pretty entertaining games. And Connor was saying that they don't have the record they want, but I know they want to win this tournament. But for you and I, for everybody with the watching on the stream, and of course, most importantly, the Lightning staff from Julien Brisebois on down, they wanted to see how these guys looked on the ice and reacted to the pro environment.
One of the first things he mentioned was leg cramps, right? All the guys here, I mean, it's really tough. That's a lot of motion. You only have a couple of guys that can sub off. So you're out there, you're spinning around, you're speeding up, slowing down. The lateral movements and, you know, the couple of quick first steps, those things really tear your legs out. And again, you know, it's not mid-season. So fighting through that, and then it affects your judgment too. You know, when you get tired, you don't make as good decisions as you do when you're feeling great and everything's got a lot of flow to it. So I found that interesting that you talked about that right away. That's great. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sure there are a ton of families watching at home here, and it's great for all of us to be able to bring it to you so that you can feel close and hear and see your sons and relatives play here in this tournament. It's a great experience for all of them. And heading into tomorrow, everything will get ramped up, and I think these guys will sleep pretty well tonight.
No doubt about that, and hydrate for sure. Looking forward to tomorrow. It was a quick glimpse today in these 7 games, but who stood out?
Well, I mentioned some of the bigger guys because I'm always curious to see their development. You know, guys like Rollins and Golicic, I mentioned them a few times, just because when you're 6'6" or 6'7", it's just different for them developmental-wise. I thought they did a really good job. Shaga Bay had a really good day. There were a lot of players up and down. Zada was noticeable. Rotiainen, I had him circled too. Minosa, who Really scored a couple of nice goals. We mentioned that he scored 36 goals this last year in the Sioux, more than anybody else here at this tournament. I thought the goaltending evened out, as it went on. Heil, I know, was really good early on. I thought he showed some fatigue, which is understandable, but they all did a good job. Mennigan, Smith, Miller also did a really good job in just battling out there. So Ethan Gauthier showed some good stuff. We've seen him before. I think up and down, there were some guys who got more comfortable. Joe Connor, I think, as the last couple of games went on, I didn't notice him as much earlier on, but he started to get more comfortable. And so just going through that process is good for these guys, and the players that's still around tomorrow and shooting to play in that final game, I think we'll see them take another step again.
3 more 3-on-3 games to be played tomorrow. We will bring those to you as well, and of course wrap it up with the big championship game, which again is going to be a different format, full ice, 4-on-4, and 2 20-minute periods. So that'll put a wrap on our coverage for us today. And once again, thanks very much for joining us today on the Tampa Bay Lightning YouTube channel. On behalf of Gabby Shirley and my broadcast partner here, Brian Engblom, this is Dave Randorf saying thanks for joining us here at the 2025 Tampa Bay Lightning Development Camp, brought to you by Florida Blue. Talk to you tomorrow.
The only way to make healthcare better for the people of Florida is to keep solving, with health solutions that are more affordable and easier to access. And at Florida Blue, we want you to know how we're doing it, offering support at our Florida Blue centers to help you get the most out of your plan, making mental health appointments more available so you can be seen within a week, and creating low-cost plans with benefits you want and need. See health solutions that are making healthcare more affordable. Florida Blue, your health solutions partner.